Hey, welcome to episode 3 of Paranormally. I am Para Ann, and we got Bill here.
WooFDriver.
Bill WooFDriver. And we got Curtis virtually from his home down in Virginia, saving him a 3.5-hour drive because tonight we have a tornado warning. So we've No, it wouldn't have been too safe at all, no. So we got Zoom figured out, and we got him piped in virtually. And thanks to figuring out this technology now, we came up with the idea of having guests on the show. So we're going to do a little contest, trivia night tonight. While you guys tune into the stream, we'll sprinkle some questions throughout, and those of you who participate with the right answers, I'll take your name down, and at the end of the episode we will do a little drawing and pick a couple people to come on and be guests with us. So I think tonight we were going to talk about our equipment.
Yeah, tonight we're going to talk about the equipment. Before we do, I just wanted to touch on what Ann was saying, that a lot of times people sometimes live vicariously through us or are watching us. They have in their life, whether it's at their home or somewhere they're familiar with, and just tales of the unknown. They hear voices, maybe things look like they're moving, all kinds of stuff that maybe you can't answer. We can possibly help you find an answer or give you an explanation of what may be happening. We like doing that. We do paranormal investigations, obviously. But beyond that, we go deeper. We use some really high-end, sophisticated equipment as well as beginner equipment, stuff that you might want to even purchase on your own or try, so you can get advice from us, reviews, etc. But we can, our team consists of the three of us, obviously, but even wider than that. So we've got all different points of view and specialize in different talents, if you will. So we're eager to assist you. So if you do participate, if you want to participate maybe through a Zoom or a Skype like Curtis is tonight, we can possibly help you figure out what's going on. We really do enjoy that. But we're going to get to some equipment. I'd like to give Curtis the floor for a couple minutes and explain his situation, his current situation.
Well, yeah, I guess I decided I would be the guinea pig for the live stream.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We do want to try and have some guests on. So, yeah, it's like I live down in Sanitorium, way away from Baltimore, like 3.5 hours south. Sometimes it takes me about 4 hours to get up there. Yeah, we're interested in interviewing some people for the show. Maybe have some other paranormal people on, or even just urban exploration, or anybody who's kind of interested in old spooky things. We think would be maybe interested to talk to. So we decided to have me as the guinea pig trying to do the Zoom. And I've been investigating with guys with Bill like 2016. So, most of the places that we investigate don't actually have internet access, so it's interesting for us to get to finally have a chance to sit down and relax and try to talk to you guys a little bit. We've been out banging around the bush for years and don't never sit down and take the time to talk to everybody. So that's kind of what we want to do with this now, is take the opportunity to kind of explain what we're doing and what we're about, and where we're going with the show. And we don't really necessarily do that in our investigations. Our investigations are purely just what happens in the investigation, kind of what happened. So it's nice for us to get to sit down and have a chance to talk about it. That's kind of where I'm at with it. So we can kind of see how this evolves, see where we go with it.
Cool. Yeah, so getting back to the equipment, thanks, Curtis, for that. Getting back to the equipment, I think the first thing we're going to show is really something that is simplistic. It's Ann's music box.
Oh, yeah.
It's I would say it's kind of simplistic, but it's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's in the shape of a coffin.
It's cute, shaped
Cute,
like a coffin.
but only we would say that's cute.
I mean, they definitely market it to our to the right audience, and it's the PMB, so it's the Paranormal Music Box, and it has its own little rubber band driven like gear mechanism, so it plays its own creepy tune, and it's basically just a motion detector, but it has the audible alarm.
If that doesn't creep you out when you're in the middle of the woods and nothing's around you,
like
and it's
pitch
dark,
black and
dark like the inside of a
you.
cow, then something's wrong.
And it's really cool. It's got a lot of detail. I mean, it has like the little like player piano style with like the gears and the little teeth to play the notes and stuff. So it's fun.
Yeah, what we like to do with this is aim it towards, so there's an object like a tree if we're outside in the woods, or a wall, if you will, if we're inside doing an investigation. So there's something solid in front of it. So if that light beam breaks, you're getting a pretty legitimate reading that something's there. And if we're aware where it's at, so if we're not in front of that and that happens, what is it? And it's pretty cool, and something you gotta see to believe sometimes. I mean, people talk about this stuff. You can see this on some of the investigative shows out there, and when you with us, because we try to debunk everything like I always talk about. So we try to be as legitimate as possible. When something happens, we automatically go into that debunk mode, all of us, and we're like, well, why did that box go off?
Yeah, I mean, and despite it being this small and having the sensor on it is not very big, it actually can pick up motion, like I think it's 15 feet out, I think
something like that.
Is its range. So it's actually it's a wide sensor on it.
Yes.
So it doesn't look like it would really do much for being outside, but believe it or not, it's really great for being outside. And then mixing that with other pieces of equipment, we can really like debunk, like, okay, was it an animal? Is it just
wind?
Is it just a branch in the way? Whatever. And then we can, kind of make a consensus of what's actually going on.
Yeah, and Ann talked about it being cute, the coffin. But truthfully, a lot of the equipment can also be triggers, and Curtis taught me this. So sometimes people bring with them.
That's a really good point too.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's in the shape of a coffin could be a trigger for certain energies that might be around. Yeah.
Right. So it's all that.
I
all
completely missed that point. I'm just like, oh, look at that! Isn't that good?
Well,
marketing?
it is appealing to those with a morbid mind or something.
Yeah.
But it actually can contribute to the actual investigation, just the shape or even what the material's made of.
And the player piano style too. That is one thing that I did think of when I was looking at it online. Is that just having the old timey, things like you would see like in the old player pianos or something might be familiar to some energies that are nearby and stuff, depending where we are.
Yeah, it's got that old world feel to it, which is which just brings you more into. It does. Hey, it does. Curtis, you're a little low. Can you move closer to the mic? Cool. Want to hear everything you're saying.
It sounds like a music box. It sounds like one of those old music boxes that we look for, like one of the jewelry boxes.
Right.
Back in the day, you open the lid on and they would play music.
Oh yeah. I still have mine. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's to me part of the appeal, because it takes you back to yesteryear, and of course we're investigating the past, so it's a natural.
Yeah, that's something we do a lot, is try to cater to the time period that we believe the spirits in an area may be from, like whatever time period, like the stories that we're chasing or debunking or whatever are from. We'll try to use that kind of mindset and just to try to draw them out, make them feel more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. So It's pretty cool, and this is believe it or not, is one of our favorite pieces between Ann and me. We really like this. This unit sells for about how much? About $300?
About $300, yeah. And we got it on. Well, I got mine on the GhostHunterStore.com, and I think I may have also seen it on Amazon too. But I think it's the GhostHunter.com store
that's
on
selling
Amazon.
it on Amazon.
So they're really, I guess, the only place you can get it from.
Yeah, I think it's exclusive or proprietary to them.
On a couple different a couple different shops, but
yeah, so you can, if you wanted to shell out the money, you can get it for yourself. But knowing how to use it and also having more equipment to complement it is really the most important part, because if you put this in a strategic place and you get feedback from it, it goes off. You're like, well, what do I do next? And that's the big question. That's when you have to have more gear and you have to have the knowledge, what to pull out, what to check, and how to go about it. And everybody here between us has their own different approach, and that's what makes our team so interesting, because we all come from different backgrounds. So we go our own way, and we're trying to figure it out, and we converge together and really put a lot of the story together, try to put the storyline, the history of what might be happening, why it's happening, and what is occurring in front of our eyes, quite frankly. So the music box is very cool. There are other motion sensors out there. There's plenty of them, and from laser grids to devices like this that go off and make sounds and chime and light up, whatever. But it's pretty cool stuff. You like it, Curtis? You like the music box? You like this?
Yeah, I agree with you. You're right in the middle of the woods, and yeah, I like it. I actually had a couple people say something about it.
use your outside voice, Curtis.
Come
Keep drifting.
Why do you have a soundtrack? And I'm like, that's not a soundtrack. That's the little music box playing. What? And I'm like, yeah, it's a little music box with the
We do need a soundtrack.
But I have had a couple people that thought we had actually added like soundtrack to it. I'm like, no, that's the music box.
It's becoming our patented sound, because between Ann and I, we almost one of us almost always has it on every investigation.
And sometimes when we both have brought ours, it's really cool, because then we can go to like different. We can go pretty far apart from each other, and we've done it once. I think it was in one of the graveyards, where it would. Mine would go off, and then I would say, okay, go over to Bill and have his go off, and we could kind of confirm movement that way. That was at the graveyard.
The Roby Cemetery.
The Roby Cemetery, where Doug felt like something.
Yeah, so he felt
had an
energy.
Experience there, too. And all around like the same time, within the same couple minutes, it was my music box, Bill's music box, and then Doug, he's our photographer. He got like a deep chill. Like he said, it felt like something, like a wind just like passed right through him.
Yeah, that was.
So that was cool.
There's what looks like a blob of fog, and it was perfectly clear that night. There wasn't any fog anywhere. But I think if you go back and watch that investigation, there's a blob of fog. It looks like it's like cruising across the woods, like right before it happened.
Yeah, that was.
Well, then that's the cemetery that I got that like thing that you could see through it, but move over before the camera out, and then I could ask it to move back and forth, and move back and forth that little way.
Yeah, you were getting some good stuff there. We really were some real hardcore evidence.
It was so cold that night, though. I remember.
It was, yeah, because that was a fall night.
Yeah.
That was before Halloween, wasn't it?
It was before Halloween, yeah.
Ann brought up a good point, though. When we have two of them on location, we can try to talk to the spirits to see what's going on. Can you go over and make that music box, Bill's music box, or Ann's music box go off? So if you can get something going like that in succession, then you're communicating with some energy out there. And Doug, as Curtis said, he kind of confirmed that, because he felt that energy on him. And Doug is just innocent bystander, for lack of a better description.
He's not really investigating.
He's just trying to get the best pictures possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a conscientious observer.
Yeah.
He is.
Just like observing and taking it all in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see we got about 5 people sitting in our chat. So if you guys are in there and you're active and you want to participate in some trivia, we can kind of get that rolling. Just drop a little line and let me know that you're active so we can, obviously address you and,
Yeah, we love comments, whether you just want to comment on the clothes we're wearing or what's going on. Just let us know you're there. And, we think, at least I do, and I'm sure Curtis and Ann do, everything is so important when we're investigating. Truthfully, from the clothes we wear to the items we have in our pockets, to be triggers, as I was talking about, or to send a sign to what we're trying to investigate. So it all plays a part of it. So if you have any questions or you want to chime in, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. And I know Curtis is probably looking at it, and Ann is too. So we can respond pretty quickly.
Yeah, totally. So.
Yeah. The next thing, I'll pull
Go
a piece of equipment out of my bag. So this is some of my favorite tools are. Some of my favorite tools are infrared cameras. I'm just really fascinating with them. So from night vision to infrared that you hold in your hand, a flashlight, and cameras that can take pictures in infrared light. Real quickly, for those of you that don't know, infrared, if you take a remote control, whether it's your Comcast, your cable box, or something to control your TV, you'll see, or you won't see, a little light emitted. You probably won't see it. It's very low level, and it's not a visible spectrum, or a very small visible spectrum to the human eye. But it makes it all the way to your TV or your audio piece of equipment, whatever, and it controls it. Well, that little bit of light, there's cameras that are made to see using that. So it's not real apparent to anybody else out there. If you have an infrared light on that's really bright, a lot of times you can't see it. So you're incognito, and it exposes, it can see much better at night than just a regular bright light, because you can expose the mysteries of the night with it, as I like to say. So military's been using it for many years, called night vision. It's very similar, just a low lighted camera that's boosted by infrared. So let me pull this out. So I like getting geared up. So I'm just going to give you a real quick example, if I can figure this out on the cuff, because I don't have anything mounted to it. So this is what I would wear, especially on our beginning hunts, and a lot of with my dog training, because I would take my dogs out at night. And of course, back in the day, visible light wasn't like LED lights, because we didn't have them then. I'm going back 20 years ago, 25 years ago. So a bright light was just a little flashlight that had a little bulb and, could light up a few feet ahead of me. But using infrared, because of the technology, or night vision goggles, you could light up a large area. So if you put these night vision goggles on, and I'm going to give you an example. If these would be mounted to the head, something like this would be mounted to the head, and you would pull it down to your eyes. This would flip down, and you would be able to see way into the distance. And there would be virtually no visible light emitting from this unit. It would just be the light, the infrared. So nobody could tell what you're doing. So you're incognito. That's why the military uses it. We use it in ghost hunting to expose, because it's much more, again, it's brighter. Cameras that are made for it can see better with it than in regular lights. And when you're looking through it, a lot of times it's either green or white or black and white, real contrasting colors. So you can really tell the difference. Hey, that is something there. It's
and it's
anomaly.
great, especially because we do a lot of things outdoors. And
yes.
So we don't have the option to just go turn a light switch on, and see what's going on. So with the night vision, we can be like, oh, did you hear that? Or what's this? It sounds like something's moving. And with the night vision, we can say, oh yeah, there's a fox over there. Or you know what? No, I don't see anything. Maybe it's haunted. So
it's really, really cool. Really cool stuff.
It's really helpful, especially like with our remote locations being outdoors and all. And even a lot of the buildings we've been in,
there's no power.
They don't have power either. Yeah.
Even places we went like Penhurst, there's limited power. You can't control what lights are on or off. We've gone there on ghost hunts, so we can pull out our infrared lighting or night vision goggles and get our own view that other people that are investigating probably don't have access to unless they have a bunch of this equipment.
Right. Yep.
So it's really...
It just kind of helps us debunk stuff because, honestly, I mean... It's not impossible, but it's unlikely that an entity is going to, register visually, let alone, on an infrared spectrum, it's not going to, they're not going to be made of light, really, to be picked up. But
picked up, exactly. There's nothing to reflect off of usually. It's
right. I mean, it's not impossible. It's certainly, just like using... I don't think we didn't bring it, but we also use a FLIR, which is a thermal imaging camera. That I'm sure those of you who have watched like Ghost Hunters and things like that have seen them use it to try to detect apparitions and heat signatures or cold signatures. That, I mean, it's possible, but it would have to be a lot of energy. I mean, that would have to be like... That's one of those very rare kind of apparitions or phenomena that we would come across. But it's cool
though because
FLIR is good for debunking.
Right. The FLIR, because it's thermal, it shows temperatures. You can see if there's cold spots or hot spots, and you could know. It feels like it's 75 degrees outside, but there's a cold spot over there. It's blue on the FLIR.
Yeah.
So it's like in the 60s. Like, why is that? Just one spot. So we'll take our equipment over there and start maybe the night vision, maybe even the SLS cam, which is pretty much a light ray gun, which is one of the most advanced equipment we have. It's phenomenal. So that's what I was saying. Like, it's dominoes. You start with one piece and you go further and further investigating with the others. So that's really cool. What do you think? Now, I'm going to bring Curtis in on this because the next thing I have... This is, again, part of the night vision gear. And these things, by the way, they range anywhere night vision cameras or night vision goggles go from they're different generations. They're ranked in generations. So when we first started off, I don't know what generation the military's up to now. They're the benchmark. Right. They might be up to 4 or 5. Do you know what?
I don't know specifically.
Okay.
Yeah.
To get generation 1, you probably spend a few $100. Generation 2, it's a big jump, like $1,000 plus. Generation 3, I know this is a generation 3, about $3,000. So because it's just that much of a difference. Generation 1 is something, a less expensive one that is cool, but it's never going to give you the detail of a generation 3. I've never, I don't think, held a generation 4 in my hand. That was the latest technology when I was buying some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But this one is pretty high-end. This is ATN, I believe, and this is produced they make it for the U.S. military. So, and a lot of stuff you can't sell out of the country, and of course we don't do that. We don't sell any of it, but it's just still protected. It's very interesting how, I guess, top secret in some ways. It is consumer grade in some ways, but it's based on military technology, and they don't want other countries getting it.
Yeah, so what we're able to get our hands on might look similar to the military use stuff, but...
Well, the first pair I bought was made for the Russian military. I don't know. I believe it or not, and I paid $3,500 for it. Got it on Amazon, but it's a Russian military design because I called further. I wanted to really explore this equipment, and they said the Russian military is able to buy I don't know, but it's who knows, but it's interesting stuff.
I mean, like the software, like the guts of it are not going to be the same.
You know how they could tell? They told me the batteries they use, like some of these, and I don't want to get geeked out here too much, but some of these use 18650 lithium batteries, which look like, I'm going to give you one because this is important, especially those of you that come here for the technology. If I can open it up. So an 18650 looks like a regular, looks a little bigger than a AA battery, but it's fatter. Here we go. So this is an 18650, And what this is in, like, if you ride an electric bike and you do stuff even using fairly big batteries, there might be 150 of these. This is one of the most commonly used batteries that are lithium based. Now, the big cars like Tesla and everything, they're not using 18650s, and of course the jets aren't. But believe it or not, the bigger battery packs, a lot of them use a bunch of 18650 crammed in there. But there's another battery which is a CR23, I believe it is, and that is in. I don't know if it's in this one or not, but that's how we determined that was for the Russian military, because they were using the CR23s, and the U.S. military, now it's just a regular battery in here, was using that, because that was the only night vision camera I ever got that used that CR23, and I was investigating why, so it was pretty interesting. I don't know what that means, but I
don't know. Don't get Curtis started on Russia. That's all I'm saying.
Curtis, I didn't say anything about Russia, I promise you.
You didn't hear it.
You didn't hear it. No, but this one, I did want to bring Curtis in on this, because this was the one we used, and this is green. So I have it labeled green, and I have a white one. So when I was talking, there's green and white, and there's black and white. This one, you'll see, has an iPhone attachment to it. So the iPhone fits in here. And the first time I met Curtis, we were on the CNO. We had a rendezvous. We made an appointment with each other, whatever. We made a investigation, and we were taking him to what we call the Hell House that we discovered, which is still today one of our epic places we've gone to. But I had just gotten this camera, and I got it for this event to meet Curtis, because I knew he was a professional ghost hunter, and I wanted to really document this in the highest quality I could and make sure I caught all the detail. So I invested in this high-end, one of the most high-end ones that I have, and they offered at the time, and I'm going back still, 10 years ago, Curtis, 2016, so it's 7 years ago. Is that 6 or 7? Okay, so this was for an iPhone, what would be considered an iPhone SE now. Yeah, the phone slid in. And Curtis was in the back seat of the dog rig. Again, we were using the dog rig to access this Hell House, because you couldn't drive to it. You had to get through the woods to get to it, and through the trail. And Curtis was in the back seat filming all over. And we were doing a Facebook Live, and you could probably still go on our page and find this video somewhere. It was quite interesting, and it was so clear, just a little bit out of focus here and there, because it wasn't the best technology to broadcast Facebook Live. They didn't have cameras that were made for it then. You were just able to use phones.
Yeah.
And paired with this night vision camera, it was pretty interesting stuff. So,
I've got a short version that I just uploaded the same investigation that I just uploaded. I don't know, probably 3 or 4 months ago. That's the one that says Hell House on it. So yeah, there's one probably halfway down the list of our videos that's that investigation.
that's great. Well, I invite everybody to check that out, and we keep promising to take Ann and Evan, who's her husband.
Yeah,
who goes
we gotta
on.
get there before the place is gone.
We do. Yeah. It's a very dilapidated house, and Curtis, you gotta just tell some of our experiences there.
Well, we walked there that one time. You can park it. There's that little
There is an access.
boat launch or something that we parked at. It's like a mile, but it's still like a mile walk.
Right.
Coming from the other way, it's like 3.5 or 4 miles, and that was when we took the bikes. Where did we meet? We met up at 4 Logs, I believe it was.
I think so.
And there was a big boat launch there and a big parking lot, so that was where we met up, and then we went down to CNO. Was it Dam 5 you crossed over?
Yeah, I think it's Dam 5.
Yeah,
Another eerie place at night.
that's the one where me and Chris, I think me and Chris stopped on that. Me and Chris, I can't remember. Me and whoever was with me stopped. We got the Albans hooting at us. Every time we talk, he would hoot and answer in the back.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, that first trip was when Rhett was still investigating with us, I think. Because the very, very first video on WereWoofs, I think is a video with you and Rhett went.
That's why we got you.
Yeah. And then the next one was the one where I came. It's an interesting old house. It was, I think we found
That should be our first
First.
first investigation back.
Maybe we'll do it in the next couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should get to it.
Probably, like I said, it takes a little while to walk to it and a little while to walk back out. So we probably should. That'll probably be the only thing we want to do then.
And you have to cross the canal to get to it, which is there's a little path. So I mean, it's not wet, or it wasn't then at the time. So we were able to do it, but we got some of the best evidence we ever got. But the first time this is the first time I ever investigated. It was with Curtis. We were in the house, and we had, I guess it was one of the spirit boxes and the speaker going, and it was loud. And I mean, I was just, it was enamoring. I mean, I don't even know the words to describe it, but it was like the voices were blaring. We were getting so many voices, and they were all so relevant. Crystal clear, and our equipment wasn't that good then. I mean, we just had a spirit box and a speaker.
There's an old junky speaker that I've got, a little box speaker, and then a little SB11 or SB7 spirit box with the antennas working off of it. No, everything, all that come out with that junk in it. I've never heard anything like it.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff we've got in the portal and some of the nicer equipment.
And your REM pod was lighting up like a Christmas tree. I'm telling you, I truthfully thought I was at a concert. I'm like, what the? It was some of the coolest experience I ever had.
We caught that thing on camera that like tried to knock me down, like flew my head.
Yeah.
Got that on camera. It's on all the cameras. I still don't know what it did, what it was, or what it is. And we asked one of the boys. He said it was me.
Yeah. Oh, I know. He was going off.
Yeah.
So that was something that we saw with our eyes. We caught it on both the cameras, and I still don't even know what it looked like. A little universe, like flying, and trying to knock me down.
It did.
Well, that video is on our channel, so
Yeah, the video's on the channel.
yeah, so y'all can go back and check that out.
That's the early years of the WereWoofs,
And
now,
then we'll be doing a new one,
Yeah,
so y'all can
yeah.
compare. And it'd be really cool to see what we get with our new equipment too. We have more equipment and updated the old stuff. So
Yes, totally. And what's so cool will be to have you guys there, because definitely the different energies you bring in there,
Yeah.
and the different people you can attract different spirits, and
absolutely, or you can just have increased activity from the spirits that you're already familiar with, or sometimes they don't want to talk because of who you bring. So.
I'm telling you, that's how I met Curtis. That's why we got him.
Yeah.
We knew something was bizarre.
Yeah. So, I guess there aren't. I don't see a whole lot of you tonight in chat, but hopefully in the future our chats become more of a thing, and you guys have some heads up with our streams, doing our Paranormally discussions and stuff. I think I have the next 2 episodes already booked and sent invites out on Facebook. So look for those either from me, from Paran, or from WereWoofs. And you can drop in early and add your questions in the event. But I only see a couple of you in YouTube in the live chat right now. So if you're watching this after the fact, you could totally still participate in the trivia. We're just going to drop a couple questions, and just leave your answers in the comments, and it'll be pretty much the first right answer, or whoever will win to do it that way.
Yep. And we're if you have any questions on any of the equipment we're using, please, by all means, we pride ourselves on a lot of this. And Chris isn't here. Chris is the I'm going to say the technical mastermind. He builds some of the equipment, and he customizes it, and he gets it working when it's not working right, and finds different ways to use it it wasn't even intended for, a lot of the stuff. So he's pretty creative in that fashion. Also, Ann's husband had created one of the voice machines using the computer, and
so he developed a EVP analysis software that is recording live through any external microphone that's plugged directly into the computer, and it shows the wavelengths of any audio input. So it's breaking it down into frequencies, and you can see where exactly on the spectrum there it falls. If it's he put in a marker for where, like, baseline, hearing, audible, like how we hear each other right now is, and so we can see if it spikes, below that mark, that would kind of indicate something that, okay, if it spiked below at 10:08 p.m., then we should go back on our recorders at 10:08 p.m. There may be an anomaly there that's been recorded that we weren't able to hear. And sometimes it spikes up also, and then we can again correlate that with our digital recorders and say, oh, okay, yeah, it spiked really high there, so that bang, that was actually in the audible spectrum. So that was something in our environment that wasn't. We can write that off. That's probably not evidence. So his just kind of, I guess, just audio analyzer, but it has the visual monitoring of the audio input at the same time, so we kind of can monitor and get live feedback that way.
Well, once we get that footage after that Fredericksburg investigation at the cemetery, every time that program that he has, every time that he's talking about getting a spike on the screen on the monitor, there is a voice.
Hmm.
Didn't it seem like when he was running that software, the Fredericksburg Cemetery? Was that the name of it? We were in Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
That almost seemed to draw in more activity.
Right.
Yeah, and
almost like a catalyst. Or
and we don't
like
really know if it was like the
trigger.
group of people, because we did have like Patrick Bishop was with us, so that was a new person that doesn't normally come with our team, new energy and whatnot. Or if it was just, the raised EMF field from having a heavy duty, industrial, laptop running. Because sometimes there's theories that sometimes increased EMF fields, which is the electromagnetic field, so the amount of electricity that's being put out into the environment, that can increase our ability for being able to capture evidence,
right?
Or for being able to, mostly for like EVPs, which are the voices, electronic voice phenomena. If there's an increased EMF field, then the theory is that there's a higher probability that if there is an EVP, that we'd be able to audibly hear it, just because the way that works with our own brains and with frequencies and wavelengths and things. But I don't know, that night it just seemed coincidence or actual fact that having that software running seemed to increase our activity.
I remember Evan responding and saying, wow, we're getting a lot of stuff on
Yeah,
there.
because usually he's nicknamed himself a walking Faraday cage. If he's around, an active zone's going to go dead, for lack of a better word, no pun intended. But that night, he was what? Yeah,
Yeah, we got to put that. That's one of the. There's a couple videos that have not been produced yet that are from those Fredericksburg, and the one before that, which might have been the McKay Forest again, the POW
the
camp.
McCall Forest. I don't think we have that one up. And we need to put up the Fredericksburg, the home investigation that we did the weekend after.
That was the same night we did the cemetery.
Yeah, so that was the weekend after Halloween, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we stopped at Halloween, so whatever we don't have up from then is...
No, it was the weekend after Halloween.
No, I mean, it's backlogged as far as what videos we need to put up, because once COVID hit, we all just hunkered down.
Those will be coming in the very near future.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're working on... We're getting back up into our normal old pace.
Yeah. But you can tell how deep we go between Evan doing his specialty, and he's really good with the technical aspects of building
yeah,
software
I mean, we got
and building.
like the tech savvy folks. We got the folks who, are outdoorsy and know their way around a trail in pitch black, and we got, folks who, are just very familiar with the various types of equipment that's available in the field. So we, and then we got journalist who comes along and is like our diary and documents it, and we have our photographer, so we got all these different, skill sets. So together we make one really awesome investigator.
That's the bottom line. Yeah, you'll see our genuine results that we debunk to the nth degree to try to for ourselves, because we want to know what we're discovering, and we want to know the story behind it.
Skeptics, like you don't have to be a believer to go out on an investigation. You just have to be up for a long night. and
I know Curtis does this from the comments we get in some of the YouTube videos. Skeptics, whatever. Oh, this happened because this, and we appreciate that. I mean, sometimes people are really negative to the point.
Try to be respectful if you're giving us an opinionated feedback.
Yep.
Just try to think about your phrasing sometimes, but we totally are cool with criticism.
Yeah, we want to hear.
If you don't believe something that we've said, that's fine.
We all weren't believers when we started here, and we're to the point where we do this. We want to share it with the audience, but we're doing this because we're curious. We're interested. It's not a money-making scheme. It's not anything like that. So it's 100% genuine, and it's very...
We're not going through these videos going, oh, this is this.
Right.
This is this. And this is this.
No, we're just saying, hey, here's what happened. Take it for what you will. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So true. So true. So, well...
So I guess
if you're perusing around and you see this video and you want to leave a comment, because we'd love people to join us.
Totally.
Like Curtis is. We can have more people in on Zoom. If you want to ask questions, you want to comment, whatever, you want to know about something we're doing, please. Next show we might make the line open.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we clearly have a way to bring people in now, so good. So going along with that theme also, for a couple I guess trivia entries, I guess if you guys the first commenters to tell us the 3 pieces of equipment that we discussed tonight correctly in the comments will, I guess, win a guest spot on our next show.
Yes.
So,
and the next show is when?
We have that scheduled 2 weeks out, so we're doing basically every other week. So the next one would be, I think we are going to be the 12th of August already.
Wow.
It sounds a lot farther away than it is, but that's only 2 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And between now and then, we probably won't do another investigation, but we hope to before the second show, before the one on the, is it the 26th will be the next one, or the 29th?
Yeah, it'll be coming up shortly after. I don't exactly have...
26th.
Yeah,
so
the 26th.
Hopefully we can get out before then and get into the field and get some more evidence and share it with you.
Yeah, so once again, anyone watching this after the fact, if you can name the 3 pieces of equipment that we discussed tonight, that will... with the first correct answer, we will be in touch and set you up with a guest spot on the show, which you can just dial in, I think, just with Zoom if you have the app.
Yep.
It's easy.
Curtis, what do you think?
All sounds good to me. Yeah, we might get, I know we've got a few other paranormal channels following us now. So yeah, if any of them would like to answer the question or would like to come on the show, and we'll help you write your channel.
Yeah, totally. Can network and do whatever. So
Yes, totally.
yeah, you can leave a comment, or you can just message us directly on the WereWoofs Facebook page, and we will work all the details out.
Sounds good. So I think for that one, this show is going to be a wrap, and we appreciate you watching. Look forward to seeing everybody on the next show. I'm Bill WooFDriver Hellman.
I'm Perry Ann. Until next time.
Have a great day.